Yes. You still no? Oh,
I'll turn my volume up. Yes. Can you guys hear us?
Yeah, personally. Yeah.
All right.
So welcome to our seminar. And to start, we have a differentiation handout that you can fill in as we go. The first question is a fill-in, and then afterwards is just a brief overview of what we're going to talk about today. So, yes. So the first activity we have is an icebreaker activity. So we have a interactive whiteboard in which you can talk about what you think differentiated instruction is. We'll give you about 5 minutes to work through it. And then we'll look.
The link's there.
Yeah.
For the whiteboard.
And we'll discuss what you guys have.
With it too. Yeah, if you can all write on the whiteboard, what do you think differentiated instruction is? All right, guys, interact. What does differentiated instruction mean to you? Whatever comes to your mind. No? Forgive us, guys. We need to try to pop out the chat. Did you get the link we sent? All right. Give us a minute while we figure out how to send you this link.
On the forum.
All right, guys. Is that better? Is it less feedback now? I think we figured out what we're doing.
That was my computer. That's my bad.
And it was our chat, which we're still trying to figure out how to pop out.
Pop in chat.
Oh. Not success.
We'll check back in about a few minutes just to see how the whiteboard's going.
All right, people are putting things on. So teaching and assessing lessons in different ways so all students benefit. Adapting your teaching to student needs. Meeting the needs of all students. 2 + 2 does equal 4. Good work.
Yep. Not just teaching the exact same way to everyone, but taking into account their needs and abilities. Very good.
Keep going, guys. We're doing great. Student choice, awesome. Using manipulatives, using different representations.
Visual, auditory, kinesthetic, very good. So we're looking at the different learners we have in the classroom and trying to meet the needs of everybody.
Awesome. You guys all have great ideas. We're going to move on now. So we are going to, I just put a link in the webinar somewhere. Yeah, the link for the Powtoon, if you guys can all open that up. And we will go to that. Sorry guys, bear with us. We're technology challenged. Can you guys see our Powtoon, or is that not showing up? You can see the Powtoon? Here we go. All right. So we can see this, yes? We're good?
Okay.
Differentiated instruction. So we have a little comic to start it off. For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. Is that really fair? Is that how we should teach our lesson?
The answer is no. All right, so what is differentiated instruction? Right? So let that. Oh, oops, it's a little faster than expected. All right. Oh. Thanks, Becky. Okay, perfect. All right, so there's 3 different ways in which we could differentiate in the classroom. The first one is differentiating content. So I know that although we have to meet the curriculum expectations, we can do so in a way that benefits everyone and can reach everyone's learning needs, right? So this could be, for example, if we're talking about linear relations, we can differentiate the content in giving certain activities to different groups. A good way that we can do this is using stations, or even just for certain needs, like if someone has a visual impairment, of course, we could give activities with larger right. So it's basically just delivering content in different ways. Delivery of differentiated instruction is another way, and that could be how we discuss what we're learning. So for example, like I said, the stations could be a good way. Could also be 3-act math task was a great way because we can have everyone talking about what they would like to learn as opposed to what we're telling them. So it's more student-based. And yeah, so that's a good way that we thought we could differentiate in the classroom.
And then the demonstration of the learning means that we don't necessarily have to just always give tests. We know a lot of students might have test anxiety or issues writing tests. So instead, we can have them demonstrate their learning in other ways. Maybe they can talk it out, they can show us a poster, we can assess them during group work, pretty much anything other than just tests, because that's what we always do.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to go deeper into each of the 3 ways we can differentiate instruction. So the content relates to what students have to learn, the modifications to the curriculum. So here's a nice little comic that can demonstrate what we're talking about. So there's a fish there, and you know what? The way that we see our students, we could see them all as geniuses. They just have a variety of things that they're great at. So if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, you'll always think it's stupid, right? And you'll always, not you think it's stupid, the fish will think that it's stupid, which is unfair. We should base their confidence and their abilities on what they're good at and strive to know each student in a way that we can accommodate what we teach in a way that's best for everyone.
So again, the delivery of differentiated instruction is that one could implement a variety of ways to present the material for students to learn. Some examples of this include tiered activities, with additional catch-up for those behind, and or supplementary questions for those ahead. Lecturing material, so chalk and talk versus hands-on activities versus inquiry-based questioning. So as Carly was saying, the 3-act math tasks are a really good way to engage students, because some might like if you just up at the board doing the chalk and talk, whereas others want to actually be engaged in doing things. So you can deliver the content in many different ways. And the third way is that you can explore various materials, techniques for mastering a math skill. So just because you can follow a formula doesn't mean you really know what's going on. You should be able to use the manipulatives or graphing, or all these different ways to represent what you're doing, and to show the kids all these ideas so they can choose what they're most comfortable with.
Perfect. So this demonstrates everything. Learning is more than just a test score, right? It comes to understanding the material and later being able to apply it to, say, real life applications. We were talking about this in our class beforehand, that if we were able to find some cross-curricular content, it allows for greater retention and engagement. So the demonstration is also a very important part of differentiated instruction. So rather than having students write unit tests or quizzes, various evaluation and assessment methods can be used to determine students' knowledge. So some examples are math poster presentations, gallery walks, trivia games, and math pamphlets. One that I found particularly helpful in my placement was actually the gallery walk, because the students kind of had a sense of pride for their work, and they were able to describe what methods they used to solve a particular problem. It might not have always been correct, but it allowed different students to have various methods of solving equations that could help them in the future. And another way that that could help with this demonstration is the implementation of exit cards. So we were able to come up with ways that demonstration of learning is best for all students. We can come up with their opinions and have kind of like a collaborative class on different DI techniques that work best for them.
So the big question might be, how can we effectively differentiate in our classrooms? And the biggest thing, it all comes down to getting to know your students. The more you know about your students and the more communication you have with your students, the better you can differentiate your classroom and the better you can engage them and make your class fit their needs.
All right, so that is it. So we're going to check the little chat out, see if you have any comments. Here we go. Okay, so what is a gallery walk? That's a very good question. So during my placement, we use this a lot. Basically, we have a particular question that everyone is to answer. And then from there, they're going to present their information on, say, a vertical whiteboard or full scap, and then kind of place it around the wall, around the room. And then everyone, once they're done, they'll kind of go around and look at each other's work, maybe give a sticker to those that they think is good work or something that they find interesting and maybe they'll use in the future. And us as teachers, we can kind of pinpoint which students have difficulties with certain topics and kind of helps with their lesson planning in the future. That answers it, Jonathan. Good question.
Good question. Yes. And also, yes, tests are so much fun. Everybody loves fun.
Yeah, easier for us.
But a lot of kids don't like them.
Yes.
So this is a good way to change things up a bit.
Yeah. Very good questions. So now for the rest of our action, hopefully you guys enjoyed our Powtoon. We have a little Padlet here. And what we're going to do here is share it first. So many tabs. First, we're going to make sure everyone can see your Padlet.
Can everybody get onto that? Thanks, John. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Put a lot of heart and soul into that. All right. Can everybody see the Padlet? Yeah. Perfect. So, we're going to give you each a different scenario. So in your partners that you're doing the webinars with, somebody can do scenario 1, someone scenario 2, and someone scenario 3. Pretty much first come, first serve. So if you want one, just let us know in the chat. Scenario 1 is how could you differentiate what the students are learning, how the content is delivered, and how the students demonstrate the learning, so it all relates to area and perimeter.
Oh, of course, Simran has
taken scenario 1. Scenario 2 is the same idea, but linear systems, and scenario 3 is right angle trigonometry.
Yeah, so what we want you guys to do here is to look at the 3 different ways in which you can differentiate to meet the criteria. Sarah and Rachel, okay? I think Jonathan at least get the second scenario. All right, very good. We'll give you a few minutes to think about how you differentiate the content, the delivery, and the demonstration of the knowledge.
And go. And we do have the chat open, so if there's any questions, you can also just let us know. those centipede things, is that right? Yes, whoever wrote that, DI is awesome. I do agree.
Nice video or photo.
We'll give you another 3 minutes until 11:35. Oh, we're uploading something else. I like it.
Oh my God.
I really like
That's
that
really cool.
video.
Yeah, looked at how DI could be used outside the classroom. That's really neat.
And how, again, you have to have different tasks for different people. The dog, obviously, well, it'd be very impressive if it could do a handstand
Yeah,
on
dog
just
circus.
its 2 front paws. All right, guys, so let's see what we have.
All right, so for the first scenario, we were talking about differentiating instruction in terms of area and perimeter. Very good work. All right, so the content DI, you could be using 3D shapes, videos to demonstrate concepts, which is good. Great for audio visual learners, and not everyone likes the chalk and talk lecture type. This could be a great break from what they're used to. Delivery, great unit to incorporate experiential learning. The use of manipulatives would be great. Yep, strings, centicubes, geoboards, yeah. So that's a very interesting way to have a hands-on technique for area and perimeter. I remember when I went to high school, it was a lot of just questions and answers and just working with numbers. So being able to see how you can use your hands and be able to demonstrate how, say, area is around an object and perimeter is on the, or area is inside the object and perimeter is on the outside. That would be a great use of the centicubes and the geoboards, which I think we talked about last year and I was introduced to. So assessments for learning can be done while observing and listening into the conversations as student work. Instead of drawing, we can let students use manipulatives to create shapes and figures instead of just having them draw out given the criteria. So that's an awesome way to do so. It puts a lot less stress on the students. We're not testing them per se. We're just letting them demonstrate their understanding using hands-on techniques. So that is great.
Awesome.
What's
Sarah say? What is the difference between DI in student learning and DI in content delivery? They're both kind of the same.
That's a very good question, Sarah. What is the difference between DI?
So content is more what they're actually learning versus how we're going to teach it to them.
Yes, it's kind of like a modification accommodation kind of deal for the content delivery, whereas student learning is, what techniques.
Yeah. So for scenario 2, linear systems, motion detectors are a great idea, and then they can graph those.
Yep, very good point, Simran.
The content delivery, you could do track and talk. You could also do the 3-act math videos, group work, investigations, flipped learning, and blended learning. That's awesome. The linear systems is a great opportunity for all of these. Because you can use graphs, algebra, table of values, words, so you can have them, each person solve something in a different way, and then they all have to combine together as well, so that you're utilizing all the different ways to solve the problem. And that's a perfect picture of it. Awesome. So like we did in math class last year, where someone has the word problem, someone has the algebraic problem, someone has the graph, and someone has the manipulatives, or something along those terms. So I think that'd be a great way to show that.
Yeah, excellent job. All right, so last we have the same deal, but with right-angled trig, which is not a very liked topic for many students. So this would be good to discuss. So learning, demonstration of learning, kinesthetic, visual, and audio, yes. So because we don't want to just keep giving them worksheets with right angles on them, you could use strings, photos, and videos. Yep, very good. So the strings I recall using in my placement as well, and you're able to physically make a right angle triangle, and from there we could make measurements based on the strings. So it kind of allows them to use their hands again. Content delivery. Yep, strings and student volunteers. Very good, kind of make real life applications. A demonstration could be answers on word problems, whiteboards, vertical whiteboards to keep them engaged. Yeah, very good.
Awesome, guys. So is there any questions about anything anybody wrote? And Sarah, are you kind of understanding the difference between the DI and the student learning and the DI and content delivery now? Did this help? Maybe. Any questions before we wrap this up? We have one more poll for you guys to do.
Okay. No questions. Perfect. Thank you, Isma. Perfect. All right, so this is just like a quick little survey just at the end. Up here, using DI in the classroom.
I believe we are still sharing our screen.
Yes.
So if all of you guys could just fill this out for us, it would be very helpful.
It doesn't have to be super detailed.
If anyone needs us to read it. So have you experienced DI in any of your placement classes? If so, how was DI used in the classroom, and was it successful? Or was it more, they're trying to do it, but it's not really working? Which part of DI do you think is the most effective when it comes to teaching math? Differentiating content, delivery, or demonstration of learning? Briefly explain your choice to the previous question. This is where you can tell us what you're thinking. Why do you believe DI is important in the classroom? And list one method you could use to differentiate content, to differentiate delivery, and lastly, to differentiate the demonstration of learning.
Oh, no. Okay. It's non-editable.
I think you did this one though.
Yeah.
So I think you'd have to be on.
Yeah.
And we will try to make that link editable. Is anybody able to do the poll? Send your share. All right, see if that link might work instead.
Perfect.
That one's working better for everyone. Thank you, Jonathan, again for helping us with technology.
And Sarah and her servant.
Oh, yeah, and Sarah. And yeah, if there's no more questions, I think that just about wraps our webinar up.
So we will get the feedback and maybe discuss later on.
Yeah, and we'll share it with you later.
So thank you guys for participating.
All right, take care, guys. If I know how to stop it.